I am always working on with my clients is getting the business out of living entirely in their head and in their body and into being an entity that exists outside of them so that if and when they need to step away from the business, everything can keep running without them. This is where we shift from the mode of being a scrappy DIY freelance hustler to being the CEO of a company. Hello, CEO. Do you want to take an entire month off to rest and enjoy winter in quarter 4? That's what we're going to talk about today. Welcome to the Inner Game of Entrepreneurship podcast. I'm your host, Sarah, and today we're talking about being able to take an extended period of time away from your business. I want to start by saying that sometimes when I talk about this concept to people, being able to step away from your business, being able to take time off, I'll get pushback that's like, no, I'm not building a business that I want to escape from. I want to do my work. I love my work. I love my clients. This is what I want to be doing. I don't want to build some soulless company that I'm just the CEO of and it runs without me. I don't want that. I actually love my clients and I love my job and I don't want that. This is a false dichotomy. It is the same type of false dichotomy as like, I don't want to make $1 million in my business because rich people are bad. And the only way to make $1 million is to have a completely soulless, low touch business where I don't get to have any intimacy with my clients, which is not true. This is an emotional reaction where you are pitting these two false options against each other, where one option is you are the business and nothing can run without you and it has to run exactly the way that it's running right now, or you have a completely soulless, detached, automated entity and like AI doing your job for you and you never touch your business. I am not advocating for that at all, but I love not working. Like, I love my company and I love my job and I love my clients and I love recording my podcast. I love everything about my business. And I love time off. It is a normal human thing to enjoy time to do nothing but dream. It is a normal human thing to be like, I want to go on vacation. I want to travel. I want to spend an extended period of time just with my kids during the holidays. It is also normal and human to need time off. God forbid anyone gets some type of illness where they need extended downtime, or you have a family emergency that requires you to put all of your attention into your family and not into business for a certain period of time. When you have set your business up in such a way that you are the business, that everything runs through your body, any time away comes at the expense of the business. You cannot take a vacation. You cannot stop focusing on your business to go put all of your attention on your family and have the business keep running and keep making money and your clients keep getting served without you. You have engineered things in such a way that you are so essential to the day-to-day operation of the business that you are really stuck. You are really trapped. But not only that, for you to need time away, your clients will be disappointed. Your clients will be abandoned. Your clients will not be served. And when we think about setting our business up in a way that's about taking care of the people who are paying us for our products and services, the most generous thing we can do for them is set the business up in such a way that if we had to be away from the business, there would be no interruption or minimal interruption to the quality of support they were receiving from the business. That is a loving, kind, generous, thoughtful way to approach the business. That isn't about you being some extractive capitalist who wants to rip people off and give them the lowest touch service while you make the most and you go off gallivanting. That's not the point of this at all. But I know that if something were to happen in my life where I needed time away, I had to go deal with a family emergency and I needed to be present with my family, I would want to know that all of my clients would continue being served with very little interruption, without missing a beat, with very little instruction from me. that everything could keep running. New sales could keep coming in, and the existing clients could keep getting the service that they're accustomed to, even if I were to be gone. How do we make that happen? Your next objection might be, but that's way too expensive. I'd have to hire a huge team. Not necessarily. My entire business runs, historically, we've had two team members. I now have one main team member who works more hours. And then I have a small satellite of additional support, right? I have a bookkeeper, I have a person who does my taxes. Um, but really, what's running the business is, say it with me, systems, systems, documentation, automations. There are systems in place for every single thing in the company. There are systems for sales. There's systems for marketing. There's systems for this podcast. There are systems for content. There are systems for email. There are systems for how the clients inside my group programs receive things. There are systems for how my private clients receive things. And all of these systems, for the most part, can be run without me. The more things in our business we can organize and look out through the lens of, if I needed to step away, could they run without a hitch? The easier it is for us to build a business where we could actually take time off and nothing would fall apart and the money wouldn't stop and everything would be okay. So what I want you to consider, this is a real thought experiment. I want you to sit down and write this out for yourself. If I wanted to take December of 2026 off, it is currently July 16th as I'm recording this. If I wanted to take December of 2026 completely offline, not checking in, totally offline, what would need to happen in my business between now and November 30th? What would I need to do? What would need documentation? What would need pre-scheduling? What would need automation? What would have to get done in order for that to be possible for me? And if that is something interesting to you, proceed to do that. And then see if you can give yourself the entire month of December off. Now, what may come up later is other panic about, I don't feel comfortable not working and I need to fill my time all of the time. And if I'm not quote unquote being productive, then I feel bad and I feel guilty and I feel lazy. That's a whole different problem to be worked through. But we can't even get to working through that problem if you are still trapped in compulsory busyness because everything lives in your head and everything depends on you. One of the things that I am always working on with my clients is getting the business out of living entirely in their head and in their body and into being an entity that exists outside of them so that if and when they need to step away from the business, everything can keep running without them. This is where we shift from the mode of being a scrappy DIY freelance hustler to being the CEO of a company, to running a company. When people ask me what I do, I don't say that I'm a coach. I say I own a coaching company. It's a completely different self-concepting around what I do on my day-to-day. Part of my day-to-day is that I coach clients, but a larger part of my day-to-day is that I run a company. Do we feel the difference there? And so inviting yourself into this shift, this CEO mindset shift versus I am a practitioner, I make the thing you make. I'm the CEO of a company and my job is that I run this company. How does that change the way you show up to your business every day? How does that change the way you interact with and think about the business? How does that change the day to day of the business? If the goal of your job description is I run this company versus I am a freelancer who does this thing. I place this upon your altar. Have a think about it. If this kind of work is super overwhelming to you, if you are not great at systems thinking, if you find it very overwhelming to plan in advance, if you have tons and tons of offers and it's really difficult for you to choose between them and you don't really know what you're launching for quarter 3 and quarter 4, any or all of those things, and you would like help, I encourage you to book yourself a CEO Direction Intensive with me. These are a 2-hour-long private session where you will fill out an extensive form. You'll tell me everything you need help with, exactly what's going on in your business, what you're struggling to decide between, and then we will get on Zoom for 2 hours. I will download everything in your brain. We will organize it together into a plan that makes sense to you and for you, that is based on what you need, what you want, your life, your lifestyle, your goals, a plan that you know you can stick to because it will be built on what you actually need, not what I think you should do, but what's actually right for you. And you're going to be leading all of the decisions. You're going to understand why you're doing things in the order that you're doing them, so that later when you're like, oh, why am I doing it like this? You go, oh, yeah, I'm doing it like this for this reason. And you can keep executing the plan. I take 3 CEO Direction Intensives a month. You can go to intuitiveedgecoaching.com/direction intensive, all one word, and you can book one right there. Or you can email me, intuitiveedgecoaching@gmail.com. You can reply here on YouTube, or if you're listening to the podcast, on Instagram at Intuitive Edge Coaching or Inner Game of Entrepreneurship Pod. Get at me however you want to get at me. Intuitiveedgecoaching.com/direction intensive. I'll also put the link in the show notes. But if you would like to come up with a plan that allows you to take the holidays off and you need my help, I would love to help you. So you can go ahead and book that and we can get it done. It also comes with 2 weeks of Voxer support coaching on the back. So if, as you're starting to implement the plan, more questions come up or you get confused or you forget that there was something else you wanted to talk to me about, you have me right there for an additional 2 weeks after the call to ask questions as we go. Just that Voxer coaching alone is a $750 value. I highly recommend that you go ahead and grab yourself one of those. If you know this is the kind of work that you struggle to do alone, this is the most important work you can do. Okay, love you. Bye.
That's our episode for today. Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this. I know there are so many things that you could be doing with your day, so many things you could be listening to, and it means so much that you are here in this community. If you enjoyed this episode, please take a moment, share it on social media, and tag me at Intuitive Edge Coaching. Share it with a biz bestie who you think needs to hear it and will appreciate it. And take a moment to to subscribe, and to leave a 5-star review wherever you are listening. It helps me grow this show, and it helps us grow and sustain this brilliant community of entrepreneurs dedicated to doing the inner work. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, love you. Bye.